Good morning, all. I welcome you to the weekly commodity audiocast. I'm Ravindra Rao from Commodity Research Desk at Kotak Securities. We mentioned last time that gold and silver both might rally again, with silver outperforming gold. And this has happened for the second consecutive week as silver in MCX gained by 15.74% in the previous week, whereas gold gained by 4.22%. We expect this to continue as silver has just come out of the trading range, and gold has already rallied from 1360 to $1,900. Today, gold has surged to a fresh all-time high of 1966 an ounce, whereas silver on the COMEX has moved up above $25. In last 2 days, that is today early morning and yesterday, silver has already gained by 10% in the international market, and gold has gained by around 3%. So we have seen a sharp rally in both the precious metals. Now this is mainly because of a weaker dollar, US-China tensions, virus concerns, hopes of additional stimulus, and strong ETF inflows. The US dollar index is near 2018 lows, weighed down by concerns about US economy amid rising virus cases. US dollar is trading close to support near 93.05. It is currently trading near 93.70. And it seems like it might test close to 93.05. Which is positive for both gold and silver. In fact, positive for a commodity as a whole. US-China tensions have been high for last few weeks. However, market reaction intensified amid tit-for-tat action against each other. Global virus cases have been rising at a fast pace with no signs of containment this year. Vaccine trials have shown progress, but there is still uncertainty about when a treatment could be found. Gold holdings with SPDR ETF continue to rise, and currently they are near 2013 highs. However, the pace of inflow has slightly slowed down in last few sessions, mainly because of a sharp rise in gold prices, and expectation is that a sharp rise might be followed by some kind of a correction, and that's why we are seeing the pace of inflows getting reduced. On the stimulus front, EU leaders agreed on a 750 billion euro relief package, and focus now is on US discussions for a fresh 1 trillion stimulus package. Overall, all these positive factors are supporting gold prices. However, as I mentioned, the recent sharp rise, especially in the first day of the week and in today's morning session, we might see some kind of a correction coming in, and it's likely that we may have we may see some kind of a position squaring ahead of key events this week, which includes FOMC decision and US GDP data. Fed is expected to keep monetary policy largely unchanged, so we expect the focus will be more on the Fed stance on the economy, and its press conference will be a focus wherein it might talk about how the economy is shaping up. Gold's rally shows that Fed's dovish stance has been factored in, so unless there are fresh cues, the metal could see some kind of a correction. US Q2 GDP is also expected to show a sharp contraction in the economy, and this has been factored in, and the focus will be more on a deviation from the expectations. So the overall bias in gold is still positive, but it is better we wait for some correction to take place to again enter into long positions, because we have already seen gold prices moving up by around $150 in a span of 7 to 8 days. So such a sharp rally might trigger some kind of a profit booking at higher levels. So better to wait for a dip to go long again. In case of silver, silver has topped $25 an ounce for the first time since 2013. The metal has surged around 15% last week, sorry. And at the start of this week, we have already seen around a 10% increase in the prices. So it's a very sharp rally. Again, silver has benefited from gold's rally, also to some extent from the industrial metals rally. However, ETF buying has paused at higher prices as investors are on the sidelines and waiting for some kind of a correction to come in to enter long again. Silver has, as I mentioned, silver has seen a sharp rally, and in silver also we recommend some kind of a caution, as a recent rise has been very sharp with prices trading in the highly overbought zone. So even in silver, we expect, we advise to wait for a correction to enter fresh longs again. Otherwise, the risk reward ratio at this level won't match. Overall, we expect COMEX silver might go till $26.50 an ounce, and in case of gold, gold might come closer to $2,000 an ounce. However, as I mentioned, it is better to wait for a dip to enter again. In case of crude oil, we have seen a very narrow range movement, as it is still lacking movement. And the gains are not being sustained at higher levels, as we are seeing selling at higher levels. Weaker dollar and hopes of additional stimulus measures have been supporting the prices, but weak demand outlook amid rising virus cases and increased US-China tensions, and also prospect of higher supply is capping the gains. OPEC and allies are set to reduce production cuts from 9.7 million barrels per day to 7.7 million barrels per day starting August. US production cuts are also slowing down. US crude production inched up marginally last week, while a rise in rig count also shows pickup in production interest. The number of rigs drilling for crude oil rose by around 1 to 181 rigs, first increase in last 19 weeks. US crude stocks are just 4 million barrels less than record high level set in June. So all these factors are capping the gains in crude oil prices, and we are seeing crude oil prices not sustaining above 42 a barrel. Now this is a NYMEX crude. So we expect the narrow range in crude to continue amid lack of fresh triggers. Although the general bias may be slightly on the downside amid uneven global economic recovery and prospect of higher supplies in the coming days. Still, we expect a range-bound movement. On the higher side, 42 should be the cap, and on the lower side, initially 40 should be the floor. If it moves below 40, we might see it slipping towards $38, $37, which is the support. On the MCX, 3180, 3200 would be the resistance, and on the lower side, 3000 would be the support, and below that it might fall till 2880 to 2900. So the broad range would be 3180, and on the lower side it would be around 2900 to 2880. On the base metals front, we had seen a mixed movement last week with copper ending lower, whereas nickel, other metals like nickel, zinc, and aluminum prices moving higher. Nickel was the best performer with 3.3% gains, followed by a 2.3% rally in aluminum and 1.6% gains in zinc, whereas copper ended 0.5% lower. Base metals are seeking support again from a weaker US dollar, because a weak US dollar is positive for the commodities as a whole. Also, the further stimulus from the US is supporting the prices. However, the escalation in US-China tensions and surge in coronavirus cases globally are capping the gains. The metals pack may also be pressurized due to demand uncertainty amid doubts over global economic recovery, tracking recent spate of mixed data, especially from US. There are a lot of important data this week. From the US, we have the most important first estimate of Q2 GDP, markets are forecasting a huge 34% annualized decline during the 3-month period. Apart from US, Eurozone and Germany too are due to release their Q2 GDP numbers. German Q2 GDP is expected to show a contraction of 9%, while Eurozone economy is expected to have shrunk by 12% in Q2. Meanwhile, from China, major data due this week are official manufacturing and services PMI, and both the readings are expected to show modest improvement. Focus for this week again in case of base metals would be the Fed's monetary statement and discussion over further stimulus by US Congress ahead of enhanced jobless benefits due to expire this month. The US Central Bank is largely expected to keep monetary policy unchanged. The Fed officials may, however, continue to maintain a bleak overview of US health amid surging cases and reiterate guidance that rates will remain near zero until the economy gets back to normal. So we are not expecting much of a change in Fed stance, but the press conference will be very important as the traders will focus on what the Fed has to say about the economic recovery. Overall, the metals pack may continue to witness mixed trend amid mixed cues. However, buyers for most metals may be weak amid demand uncertainty and rising stocks of most of metals on the LME. We expect out of the metals pack, we expect nickel might again perform well because on the LME it has come out of a range. And there is a chance it might move up till $14,250 on the LME, and on the MCX there is a chance it might go up till 1,067. 1,040 to 1,043 remains a stiff resistance. If it takes out 1,042 43 on closing basis, then 1,067 might be very much possible. Apart from that, other base metals look quite range bound. Copper, we feel the upside would be around 509 to 510, 513 being the strong resistance, and on the lower side 498 to 500 would be the floor. And in case of zinc, 178 to 179 would be the upside, and on the downside we expect the prices to take support near 174. On the agricultural commodities front, BMD CPO has seen a stunning rally in the previous week. Domestic edible oil prices and mustard also posted decent gains last week. However, soybean stood nearly unchanged amid expectation of a huge stock with farmers and traders, along with weakness in soybean futures at CBOT following rising geopolitical tension between US and China. Focusing on crude palm oil, it has remained positive last week as the July month rose over 20% till last Friday and settled near 2780 on 2780. Now this is in case of BMD CPO. Expectation of lower inventories and lower output concerns in both the largest palm oil producing countries due to adverse weather, labor shortage and lower usage of fertilizer in past few months have resulted in substantial rally in CPO in July. Malaysian palm oil output during the first 20 days of July is expected to have declined by 9% month on month, while exports during 1st to 25th July is pegged up by 2% from last month. Moreover, Bloomberg survey shows Indonesian palm oil stocks to fall at nearly 16-month low at 30 lakh ton in July due to a lower output and better exports. Now, having said that, we expect some pullback in CPO following profit booking by traders. So there is a chance on the MCX CPO prices might come down till around 728, 725 before resuming the uptrend again. So we are expecting slight pullback in the prices. In the spices complex, almost all spices rose in the range of 1.7% to 4.6% last week. Now, this was mainly due to falling demand and value buying from lower levels. We have seen all the spices at very lower levels in past 1 year, and all the spices are coming out of a trading range, and we are seeing a sustained up move in all the spices like jeera, turmeric, and coriander. We expect this up move to continue after a brief correction. Advise to be on the buying side on dips in case of all the spices. That's it in this edition of Commodity Audiocast. Wish you all a happy trading week. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.